Cheers. This is J.D. Waggy, reading the tale Blue. I don't remember seeing the car come at me, headlights reflecting in the green flecks I swear I have in my eyes. I wonder if I screamed before I jerked the wheel, or if I jerked the wheel at all before the grills met in an aluminum kiss that crumpled the skull of my 21st century power trip. I wish I had wakened before they took my leg. Maybe to say goodbye, to thank it for years of faithful service, even though it gave out on me that one time for almost 2 months in college. I wish I'd known it would leave. I would have made it look better so the surgeon wouldn't have to see badly chipped blue toenail polish. I wonder if anyone ever gets into the car thinking about wrecking it. I certainly didn't. I'd actually just been driving home from a family reunion, with my cousin in the passenger seat, singing along with me to the classic rock blaring from the speakers of my 2-year-old Toyota, new to me. It was a mix CD he'd made for me. The last song I remember was Cherry Pie by Warrant, a song he appreciated a lot more with his new engagement. Lisa would have come if she hadn't had to work. I would have made him sit in the back to be with her if she had. I would have been his chauffeur, like we used to do with his dad in their shiny blue Cadillac, and they would have been royalty or high governors or millionaires, and maybe he would have lived in the back. The first thing I remember is waking up in the hospital because my leg itched so badly. It felt like the time I got chickenpox in elementary school and missed 4 days of class to soak in oatmeal and calamine. Even before I opened my eyes, I reached down to scratch it, and I felt the pull of a needle in my hand. That hurt. Needles shouldn't be in my hand or anywhere else. I opened my eyes to a white ceiling with swirled paint patterns. My room at our third house had a ceiling like that, but that room didn't have needles. I looked over to a heart monitor and finally heard the strong beep, beep, as I watched the green line spike on the screen. Hospitals had those screens. I was in a hospital and my leg itched like crazy. Where was Darren? I had just bought myself the car that went to the reunion with me. It was blue, a Corolla like my mom had when I was little. The only thing I didn't like was that it didn't have a tape player. My little cousin Shannon wanted to know what a tape was when I mentioned not being able to play them, and I decided I was getting too old. I had just turned 21 the month before the reunion, and Darren was so excited for me. He was 25, the strapping older brother I'd never had, my best friend when he'd allow me to wander after him as a child, and my hated enemy when he called me the little girl he had to babysit. He thought my Toyota was the best thing I'd ever bought because his favorite color was blue. His green Kia was getting a new transmission that weekend, and we thought it was a godsend for us to be able to spend the afternoon driving together, laughing at how we were pretending to be grown-ups, thinking we were true blue cool like my car. It was so bizarre when I couldn't scratch my leg that first day. For a while I thought I just couldn't find it, as if it were playing hide and seek with me under the thin green hospital blanket. Morphine is better than LSD for the imagination, I think. I had to sit up and actually look at the flat blanket to tell myself my leg wasn't there. I put my hand where my knee should have been and pushed, sure that it had just somehow sunken into the mattress. I pushed on my other knee and felt my kneecap slide ever so slightly. That one was dislocated in high school. That leg was mine. A nurse walked in, alerted by my consciousness and movement. "Excuse me," I said to her very politely. "I seem to have misplaced my leg." The guy driving the other car was speeding, the police said later. He'd lost control. No one knew why. No one could find him to ask. A hit and run, leaving only parts of his car behind, no information. My Toyota never had a chance against his H2 built for destruction. I didn't get out of the hospital before they towed my faithful steed to the junkyard. Didn't get to say goodbye to her either. But Darren's fiancée Lisa said it was pretty bad. It was a miracle I'd made it out alive, she said. The dashboard was basically sitting in the back seat. It was a miracle, they all said. But there was no miracle in the passenger seat. When the nurse told me they'd had to amputate my leg, I didn't have much of a reaction. The screaming and the crying and the yelling and the frustration, that would all come later. I just wanted to know more. Where's my cousin, Darren? Lisa doesn't talk to me much anymore. I heard she has a new boyfriend. It's been 3 years. She deserves to be happy. My aunt and uncle don't talk to me much anymore either. The three of them spent months telling me it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault, but their eyes were dead with the weight of their anger and accusations. We all knew it was a lie. The man who came in with you didn't make it, Mim, my nurse said, trying to be gentle. He didn't make it. As if he'd been running a marathon he couldn't finish, or he'd promised me he'd come to a concert, but something else came up. He didn't make it.